Basi, and I'm so excited to have you here in this Excel class. In this Excel class, we are going to learn Excel step by step, starting from the basics and gradually moving into practical, real-life applications, and how you can use it at work and in your business. And in this course, we designed this course to be simple, practical, and beginner friendly. So feel free to pause, feel free to rewind, practice along with us as we go. So let's start. First of all, we want to know, begin from the grassroots, which is a spreadsheet, which is where Excel is originated from. So what is a spreadsheet? A spreadsheet is actually an electronic document. It also could be a manual document in which data is arranged in rows and columns or in grid lines, whereby you can manipulate and use them for calculation. So that's what Excel, that's what a spreadsheet is, sorry. So we have the manual spreadsheet and the electronic spreadsheet. So a typical example of the manual type of spreadsheet is the ledger paper, which we all know, or better still, the school register. So that's the manual type of spreadsheets, but we are not going to focus on that. We are going to focus on the electronic type of spreadsheet, and that brought us to Excel. So Excel is an electronic type of spreadsheet, is an example of the electronic type of spreadsheet. So now you might wonder what Excel is. Been hearing of Excel, 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 Excel everywhere, because in so many establishments, in so many areas, we make use of Excel so very much. So one might ask, what is this Excel? So what you need to know about Excel is that Excel here is an electronic spreadsheet whereby can be used in calculation, can be used to analyze data. It can be used to analyze data. It can be used to forecast, for forecasting, and it also can be used in your day-to-day activity. All right, now let's begin from showing the environment of how Excel looks like. So first of all, launch Excel. If you don't know how to launch Excel, so from your desktop, this environment is called a desktop, you look for the Excel application if it was installed on your desktop, or better still, if it was pinned to your taskbar. This is your taskbar. You can equally take it from there, launch it from there, or better still, you come to search and type Excel, or you come to your start button here and click on your start button, and it is pinned as one of the applications, so you can double click and it will open. Now this is an Excel of version 2.16. This is a 2.16 version of Microsoft Excel. All right, so these ones are templates. Welcome to Excel, formula tutorial, Power Query tutorial, pivot table tutorial, beyond pie chart tutorial. So these are just design templates. So since we are starting from the scratch, we're going to start from blank document. So I click on the blank spreadsheet. So that's how to launch your Excel spreadsheet. I hope it's really understood. Right, like we said before, Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application which is used to store data, organize the data, calculate, and also use in keeping records as well. So anytime you see something like sales reports, you see something like salary records, student results, business expenses, customer list, more likely Excel is being used. So it is actually used to perform calculations automatically. Excel is used in to reduce errors. It saves time and also prevents presents data in a clean and a professional way. So you can see Excel as that application that can do that. Okay, you can ask who can use Excel. So Excel can be used by anybody at all, and I mean anybody. If you are actually a worker selling, you're doing your own business, anything that you're actually doing that involves spending of money, each and every one of us spends money. So you can use Excel to track your expenses and keep records of what you are using your money for or what you are spending your money for. So office worker can use it for reports and records. Business owners can use it for sales and expenses. An accountant can use it. A banker can also use it. A data analyst can also use it as well. Students can use it for their projects and their research. So no matter any background that you you find yourself or you are in, Excel is very more valuable skill one should learn. Okay, so Excel versions, we have Excel in different versions. We have Excel for desktop, we have online Excels. We also have the versions of desktop ones are you have I'm going to mention the newer versions, not the old ones. Can have version 213, we have 216, we have Excel of version 219, we have 2021, or the Microsoft 365. If you have any of that, it's perfectly okay. You're actually updated. Okay, we are going to be using some terms, so which I would like you to know those terms as well. So the very first one you'll be hearing us talking about here is a worksheet. Okay, actually, what is a worksheet? Okay, a worksheet is the workspace of Excel. So those areas you see grid lines, you see some boxes, so those areas are the workspace of Excel, and that workspace is called the worksheet. Now this worksheet is up to 100. It's just like you have your exercise book and you have so many leaves inside. So the total numbers of sheets you have, the total number of worksheets you have in Excel is 100. So those grid lines you see, as I said before, the grid lines you see those boxes there represent the worksheets. That's the workspace, the working area of Excel. Now, you also hear me talk about workbook. What's a workbook? Now, workbook is an Excel file. So, one of it contains 100 worksheets inside. So, one of Excel worksheet contains hundreds of worksheets. Okay, so that means that you have hundreds of worksheets in a workbook. I hope it's really clear. On the Excel environment, these are the things you see. You see the title bar here at the top, where my mouse is hovering around. This area is called the title bar. This is where the name of your worksheets or your workbook is being renamed. So if you rename your workbook, you have the name of your file renamed up here. Now these are all called tabs. These are tabs, and these are their commands written on the ribbon. Now each of these commands are in groups. You see, we have different groups that are not being scattered around. They are in groups. So it all depends on what you want. You directly go to the group and then you choose your command or the option you would want. So all these are in groups. We have the clipboard group, we have font group, alignment group, number group, style group, cell editing group. So those are the groups that we have under home tab. If you click on the insect tab, you also have a different command entirely. As you can see there, you also have different tab. So each and every different groups. So each and every tab has their groups, and their commands are in each of those groups. Okay, now this is called the name box. It's one of the powerful features in Excel. Now this is where you can see the name of a this is where you can see the name of a cell. If you cannot reference a cell, or if you cannot address a cell, so any cell that is being active, the name will be written here. So it's called the name box. Now here also is one of the another powerful feature, which is a formula bar. Now uh this shows you what you are writing inside each of these boxes, and also the formula you are using. So if you see someone working on a particular thing and you want to know how the person got that, just click on where the person's answer is, and then how the person got it will be displayed on this formula bar. Now here we have the column letters. As you can see, I just clicked and you see it is being aligned, or it is being selected, these columns, and we also have rows. So these are rows and columns. So another term you'll be hearing me talk about is a cell. So that brought us to these boxes here. Let's talk about these boxes. These boxes are called cells. Now, if you want to define what a cell is, it's simply the intersection of the rows and columns. So where a column meets a row, or where a row meets a column, it forms this box, and this box is what we call a cell. Now, you cannot input data into multiple cells. Rather, you can input data into one cell at a time, except you collapse multiple cells together, and that is called merging of cells. So with that, these boxes are called cells, and they are what's the intersection of rows and columns, where the column and the row meets together, they form this box, and this box are called what? Cells. Please don't forget that. Now this these rows, okay, are so much. There are so many. In total, there are 1,048,576 rows in a sheet, and the column letters are being labeled A to Z. And when it gets to Z, it starts B A B B B C till it gets to B Z. So that is being done so as to cover up with the numbers of rows we have in a worksheet. You see that the workspace is very, very spacious. Okay, another thing that you also hear me talk about is what we called uh range of cells. Now, when I talk about range, I'm talking about multiple cells. Okay, so if I do this, you can see I have more than one cell being active. So if I highlight that, I have more than one cell being active. So with that, this is what a range of cells. I hope that is clear as well. That multiple cells means what? Range of cells. Now this thick cross that you see here on your screen is called the cell pointer. This is what you use to activate a cell. Okay, now each of these cells have a name. Each of the cells here have a name. As I said before, if you click on any cell here, you just look at the name box, you're going to see the name of the cell there. So how do they come up with this cell name is what we are going to talk about now. Now, how do you name a cell? This is how to name a cell. This is how to give a name, or a name to a cell. Or you can say this is how to address a cell or reference a cell. Now, for you to reference a cell, you first of all, when that cell is being active, what you do is for you to first of all check the column letter and combine it with the row number. As you can see, this cell that is active, the active cell is the cell that has this thick border line. Some will be green, some will be black, and so on and so forth. But this is what we are having here on this version. That's the 2016 version of Excel. That's what I'm using right now. So you'll be seeing these green thick border lines here. So it actually means that this cell is what? Active. So what you need to do is for you to check the column letter here. The cell that was active is this. So you check up, you see the column letter, then combine it with the row number, which is the vertical lines there and the horizontal line. The vertical line is under what? Line C, and the horizontal is where? Line 4. So, sorry, line 6. So the name of this cell is what? Cell C6. So you do what? You combine it, the column letter and the row number, and it forms what? The name of that cell. So that's how to name a cell, or that's how to reference a cell or address a cell. These three names are one and the same thing. Don't forget that. All right, let's move on to something else. Now, as you are entering data, there are not all data can be entered into Excel. So there are basically three types of data that you can enter into Excel. One is labels or strings, which are text, those alphabets, those texts you see. Maybe let's say pen, book, clothes. Those are what? Those are strings, or you can call it labels. So you can enter strings or label into Excel, and when it fits inside, this is what I mean. When it fits inside, for example, you type in pot, P-O-T, and you see that it's as fit inside the cell. So this is actually called a short string or a short label. But if it overlaps, which means it passes the border of where a column C is supposed to be, it means that it is what? It has overlapped, and it means that that is a long string. For example, you are writing workbook, so work, you have RKBOOK. Now you can see that it has passed where column C supposed, the line where column C supposed to end to column D. So with that, this is called a long string or a long label. Now another data that can be entered into Excel is what? Short number or long number, you can call it value. So same as the string, number 0 to 9, okay, can be entered, and when it fits inside, it is called a short number or a short value. But if it overlaps, it is called a long number or a short number. Something like this, that fits, but something like this, it overlaps. So okay, as it is overlapping, it's expanding here. Okay, I set it for that. But if you see here, it gives you, it means that there is an extension of numbers, okay, that are hidden. So that is what it means. Now another thing, another data whereby Excel accepts is what we known as calculated entry, the combination of formulas and functions. So if we have something like this, okay, okay, so if you have something like this, okay, Excel can actually calculate this. So this and this, these are the three data whereby you can input into Excel and you get Excel accepts the data. Remember, Excel does not calculate strings or label, but it can be used in data manipulation. Okay, so that is what you need to know about the kind of data or the type of data you should enter into Excel. I hope it's really clear. Thing we will be talking about, or another theme which you'll be hearing me talk about, is formula and functions as well. So I'll be talking about formula more frequently, and also functions as well. Now, what is a formula? In Excel, a formula is an instruction which you give to Excel, or you tell Excel to calculate something for you. So what you tell Excel to do for you, okay, the instruction you give Excel, okay, to use in the calculation of whatsoever you want it to calculate, is what? A formula. And functions are pre-designed, like a kind of a ready-made formula for you. Now, for example, we know that to add up numbers is we use addition, which is a plus sign, to add up to add up numbers in the real life. Now in Excel, if you have multiple numbers for calculation, okay, Excel gives you a predefined formula called the sum formula for you to calculate more than one number or one value. Okay, so if you have multiple numbers to calculate, okay, you can use the function called sum to do what? Calculate or add up multiple numbers. So that's the difference between a function and a formula, and we will be talking on that, or we'll be saying that often as well. So something you need to notice that is very important to know how to reference a cell or know how to name a cell, because that's what you're going to use whenever you are calculating. Now, this is what happens when you are calculating. Now, in real sense, we have 1 plus 1. We do this 1 plus 1. Okay, you press enter here, it does not give us what it's supposed to give us. So in Excel, okay, in Excel you don't do this. Okay, rather you call in the cell, the name of the cell. So Excel will use whatsoever that is inside the cell to do what? Calculates for you. Okay, so the first thing you're supposed to do before calculation is for you to use your equal sign, equal to. The first thing you're supposed to do, well, when you want to calculate, is what? Your equals to. You put your equals to sign. By doing that, it alerts the Excel that you are going to make calculation. Okay, now let's see how to save our file. So for you to save, you come to where you have file here, or better still, you use your save command here. Click on it, and it gives you, they say you should rename the file. So by default is book 1, so you can now say class 1. So that is my file name. And you see, okay, let me add space. Now choose the location. Where do you want it to be? It presently is on the document, and the document is what's on my OneDrive, which is the cloud. Or you can at least do well by putting it on your local device, that's on your system, not on the internet. So I would choose documents here. Mine say, okay, that's download documents here. Mine said, so I'm going to click on it, and then that's the location where I want it to be saved, and I click on save, and voila, it is saved. That's how you save your file or your Excel documents. All right, in this class we've actually discussed a lot of things. So we have opened our Excel, we have created a new workbook, we have said what we've talked about, what a workbook and a worksheet is, some terms, cells, rows and columns. We talked about the interface, and also we showed how to save data in save our Excel file. So in our next module, we are going to talk about navigation and data entry. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe to SME Digital Tools Academy for more Excel videos just like this one. Thank you.